God created things which had free will. That means creatures which can go either wrong or right. Why then did God give them free will? Because free will, though it makes evil possible, is also the only thing that makes possible any love or goodness or joy worth having. C.S.Lewis. The world is burdened by so much evil and suffering that we become disoriented by all and wonder why. If there is a God, then why does He allow it to happen? We theorize, philosophize, analyze, and seek all kinds of ways to find an answer. Sometimes we become victims ourselves, and the reality of that pain and suffering is personalized. Many of us have lived our lives away from any accountability and enjoy all the ill-gotten gains. We seem disconnected and disenchanted, and no regard for anything divine or moral. We enjoy our lives without any accountability and basically say, "Who cares?" Some find themselves and regain their moral foundations and seek God back into their lives, but are again inundated by disregard and disenchantment by people who thought would always be there to help you. But the problem is, no matter how much people claim their own righteousness, they are inherently burdened by their own self-righteousness. The reality of the human condition in itself is broken. Don't try and blame others. Don't try and seek solace in telling yourself you are a victim. People have no idea the burdens you carry, which you hide conveniently away from prying eyes. You put on a mask and smile to everyone around you and move on. There is no added burden, but the stinging reality of how uncaring this world is. It is a reminder to yourself that there is no one you can turn to make things easier upon yourself. We are buried under the weight of loneliness and despair. We feel lost and tears fill our hearts inside, though everyone sees you smiling. Isn't it strange that this isn't the world God created for us? What has happened to all the theology of love and compassion when the people who proclaim it are just as indifferent and uncaring? There is no love. There is no compassion. There is no God. But we seem to forget that if everything was made perfect and God took away all the pain and suffering, everything was good. Could we even come to terms and know what bad, evil was? Think about it carefully. Evil, pain, and suffering and all bad things ceased to exist, and we lived in the perfect world. Would we even know what good was? How could we? We have nothing to compare the logic of good when there is no bad. God created this world and gave us free will to make that distinction, to allow choices. To create a perfect world would also eliminate the gift of free will, the one attribute that all humanity treasures wholeheartedly. God created the perfect world and in our own choice inherited. We have created the realm of choices, and we have always ended up on the wrong side of those choices. Take away pain and suffering, and creating everything perfect would take away our free will, because there is nothing left to choose. It is within those choices that when we are faced with evil and suffering, we can turn away and choose good. Those who choose otherwise have practiced their right to free will and unfortunately condemn themselves within this existence. If we assume God gave us choices, then those choices would lead to a conclusion. Those who choose a life of immorality and unaccountability conclude their existence to this testing ground. Those who choose good prepare themselves to a victory that of the gift of the grace of our God to an everlasting kingdom free of all burdens and comfort in our Lord's embrace.